the people who are really extraordinarily successful didn't sit around watching success porn. They just went and did it. They had such an overwhelming desire to be successful at the thing that they were doing that they just went and did that thing. They didn't have time to study and learn and listen, and they just did it. It's the overwhelming desire that's the most important, and the focus that comes from that.
Hello everyone. If you've somehow stumbled upon this video, I can already tell that you're better than the vast majority of people around you. Not to sound arrogant, I'm just referring to the intention and awakening you've had around this topic. To seek out content about self-improvement, you know what I mean? That thought counts. So, you want to be better than yesterday's version of yourself, and honestly, that already puts you ahead of 99% of people. And no, I'm not patronizing you or fluffing up the content. I'm constantly battling this thought, and there's both an advantage and disadvantage to this. As someone who started to share his thoughts online, you've got to understand there's always perspective, and that's about it. There's no right, there's no wrong, and you'll just have to play along with the person's perspective. And hopefully you can join me on this journey. Let's be real, there are countless inspirational quotes floating around designed to pull at your emotion. But the ones that really align with our topic today are worth examining. Swami Vivekananda once said, take up one idea, make that one idea your life, dream of it, think of it, live on that idea. I don't know about you, but that's extremely profound. Think about it. Now, don't bother yourself with who he was right now. It's not really important, but that has some profound truth to it. I also wanted to take up the opportunity to bring up something that I heard in Chris's podcast, and it was called the Region Beta Paradox. Let's watch it together.
So imagine that you had to go a mile or less, and if you did...
A mile?
A mile.
Okay.
If you had to travel a mile or less, you would walk it. And if you had to go more than a mile, you would drive it.
Okay.
So paradoxically, you would go 2 miles quicker than you would go 1 mile.
Uh-huh.
If you follow that rule, the important insight here is that if you only take action when things cross a certain threshold of badness, sometimes better things can feel worse than worse things.
Oh, yeah.
So if you look around and you see that people are stuck in region beta, this zone of comfortable complacency, right? It's the guy that sticks in his just okay job because his boss isn't too much of a dick, but the pay isn't that good and he's not really that passionate, but it's all right, whatever. The person that stays in the acceptable relationship, they're not that fired up, but they're not really in love and their partner's not really got much alignment with their interests. All of these people would be better off if their situations were worse.
Okay, I want you to take away 2 crucial things away from this. Number 1, your intention that seed needs to be deeply rooted. You need to meditate on it until one day the world aligns. I'll be transparent with you, this has worked for me sometimes and sometimes it's not. But I'm still breathing, still trying, and I believe I'll get there sooner than I think. And so will you, should you believe. That's important. The second idea is about being slightly worse than better. You need that escape velocity. You need to feel that strain before your effort takes its killer form. I mean, think about it. This applies to almost everything in life, from fitness to business and name it, that's what it is. So, we've all set this context. Now, to understand how to be ultra successful, let's break this down into 4 parts. Well, this is how I've imagined it to be. Number 1, the problem. Number 2, the solution the world sold us, something that I don't believe in, but we need to discuss it, it's important. Number 3, the way I started seeing things differently and getting results. And number 4, what I'll continue doing and what you can start doing today. So, part 1, problem. I want you to talk about the problems I constantly face as someone who figuratively and sometimes literally aspire to become ultra successful and better than 99% of people around me. Believe me, I actually think it. As they say, figuring out the problem and understanding deeply is 80% of the battle. Execution just gets you there. So, intention plus figuring out the problem plus execution is solution. The problem, looked at like a coin, has 2 sides, and realistically, outside of this space, it's really a shade of gray if you think about it, right? The first problem, the first demon I battle with personally, this is me, is overthinking and excessive mental stimulation. I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person who overfixates on the problem, overanalyzes, nitpicks every small detail. Name an adjective related to overthinking, I probably have it attached and attributed to me at some point, or even as we speak. This majorly slows you down because you're striving for perfection. The perfect setting, the perfect environment, perfect whatever. Before you feel ready to deliver anything, and it's actually going to slow you down. Probably even classic imposter syndrome case. I don't know. What do you think? And because you're slow, you're constantly bombarded with dozens of new ideas, possibilities from people around you. And the creator market doesn't help at all. Influencers, friends, family, everyone around you giving you new ways to cut it in life and, ways to make money. All of which is really a rabbit hole. That was me, that is me, and I'm trying to work out of it, but this is just me today, right? But the important part is that you've identified it. Now, the other side of the con, I'm never there, but I imagine the other extreme is trying to hyper-parallelize everything under the sun. You're constantly overworking, every idea is touch and go, every new concept seems like a potential gold mine. I've heard some of my friends do that. But is this the way to go? Maybe not, at least not in my experience. If this is you, drop a comment below and let the rest of us know if that's worked out for you and what specific difficulties you face because, of this. So, define where you are. That's very important. Before we jump to what I'm currently doing, let me talk about advice I simply stopped being able to resonate with. And this is something that's truly personal, something that is just my opinion. So take it with a grain of salt. Glamorous advice from people who've already made it in the top. There are components and emotions missing in this kind of advice and motivation, and I just don't relate to it anymore. Maybe I'm just growing old, I don't know, whatever it is, but I just don't get it. The next one is discipline is the key, consistent is the holy grail. Stop. Maybe it works for some, definitely not all. To me, this advice doesn't work because the problem really runs deeper than you think. Practically, philosophically, scientifically, name it. It's different. Number 3, the template show of big money, fast cars, penthouse lifestyle, beautiful partners. You know how the story goes. I'm sure you've all seen those videos and motivation clips before. Don't get me wrong, I love it, right? It really seems to amuse, but it's just a dopamine hit at the end of the day. There was an era where I would have gotten psyched, but when you slightly get older, you want to get something more real. And I think that's very temporary dopamine hit that mostly aims to grab attention. So take it or leave it, this is just my thought. Anyway, so far, if you're sick and tired of hearing similar advice, then congratulations, you're on the same boat as me. And let's now talk about how to actually get to the top 1% that we've always talked about, right? Let's try and get there. If you don't already know, let me tell you this. Nothing worth having is easy, absolutely nothing. And if it is, it's probably not worth much after all. Let's start with the fundamentals. Really, let's just start with the fundamentals. What fundamentals am I talking about? Well, start with understanding your specific problem. Look at what needs fixing, what already works for you. Begin with that. Start with a strong foundation you can rely on. Don't get me wrong, this isn't an oversold solution, but if you really think about it, that's what it really is all about. Once you know where you are, figure out your intentions and make sure your heart and mind are set on it. Whatever it is you wish to achieve, it's important that your heart's in the right place. This ensures 2 things. A, you actually complete things and see your thought process through. And B, you get through it much quicker with fewer distractions. That's really what it is. This isn't just philosophy, there's science and biology involved here. Think about it, if you don't have enough money for your next 2 meals, all your attention becomes laser focused on ensuring that you have food on your plate. This is just survival instinct, don't you think? Wouldn't you agree? In your heart and mind, you know what needs to get done to start your improvement journey. We all do. We all know deep down what we need to do to get started. So, don't waste time, just start there. No time than now, no place than now, just start. Actually, now that I think about it, everything I've started doing can be traced back to these fundamentals. Every time something's worked for me, I think I've started with these fundamentals. So to quickly wrap things up, let's have some points going. Let's go over some points. So get out of your head, stop overthinking, overanalyzing. Nothing productive comes out of it. It's important to have a head on your shoulder, 100%, but not to the point of detriment. Do yourself a favor and do whatever it is you intend to do. The price of perfection is usually not doing anything at all, so just start doing, right? Start living with intention. You're already 70% ahead by just living with intentions. Number 2, stop judging and multitasking. It's extremely overrated, and believe me, all these productivity gurus with their context switching and environment setups, it's important, 100% yes, but really stop multitasking. Get one thing done. And if you need to get something done, if you need to jump to another task, just get it done faster. Don't multitask. It's just my humble opinion. And if you don't believe me, pick up a research paper or a book and you'll quickly see it my way. Remember, multitasking also applies to letting your thoughts run wild from idea to idea and the urge to try another quick fix solution. I mean, you can look at it in both ways. So I would suggest you just avoid multitasking as much as possible. So commit to the problem and solution. If you're not sure, then don't commit. At the very least, you're saving yourself some time. Number 3, I found it easier to talk to people who are better than me by margins, but not to the point where they're vastly better. Do you know what I mean? Connect with your immediate better peers. Idolizing and taking advice from people who've already made it is often just a dopamine hit. To me, it's not really a solution to your problem because sometimes you just cannot relate. They're too far ahead in the game. That advice is something I take with a grain of salt, and I mean, I even call it eyewash sometimes because I feel like they aren't truly, transparent. Sorry if I'm being blunt, but this is just my view. So do yourself a favor, seek peers who are in the journey just, with you, besides you, behind you, but it doesn't matter. You learn so much more from them than you would from a celebrity or from that guru. Don't be overcritical and take your wins not to your head but to your heart. Reward and appreciate yourself for embarking on whatever journey you're on. It's taken me farther than you think. I mean, there's no point being overcritical about yourself, and you actually learn a lot from both wins and losses. So I think you should celebrate both. It's definitely taking me places. I don't know about you, but I think the self-sabotaging mindset ain't gonna cut it. I mean, I'm a staunch believer of Jordan Peterson, so I always believe in stand up straight with your shoulders tall. And that's just me. Number 5, the real golden nugget to getting ahead of people is to actually be right about things. This means having a contrarian belief system. Now, something your ordinary Joe might not have, but not just that, your contrarian belief needs to be right, which is the hardest bit. I mean, think about it. More than likely, this is rarely the case, but the closest to that is to start tackling problems that are hard, problems that people typically reward you to solve. If this means you need to hop onto trends like learning AI, too bad, you've got to do it. I mean, not everyone likes it, but you just got to do it. You're better off riding the waves than trying to swim against it, right? It's just kind of how it works. So just some bonus content, if you will. Here are the top skills to master, in my opinion, in this gen and age. AI, whatever context your situation, learn enough to suit your context and see if you can use it to solve problems. Trust me, it's here to stay, and you're better off learning some of it than, resisting it. Next, learn how to speak right and read effectively. Let me explain. I don't mean to sound silly. It might seem like I'm stating this obvious thing, but it's not as obvious as you might think. Learning to talk to people and articulating your thoughts is far more difficult than you think. I mean, it's something that is worth learning. It actually gives you a better overall profile. And the third thing that I would recommend is to read books that stimulate your mind and soul. Read enough to be able to have that small talk with your manager, peer, whomever. Doesn't matter. Read enough to use better phrases and words. Trust me, you will leave a lasting impression. That's it for this one, folks. To summarize my thoughts on how you could get ahead. Number 1, don't overthink. Don't multitask. Set your intentions. Don't take this lightly. You need to 100% commit to whatever it is you want to do. It's the most important part of this video. Number 3, reach out and connect with immediate peers. Celebrities and experts are too far ahead. Just don't even. Celebrate your small wins. I would say gamify the heck out of your goals. More on this later, but I would do that. I actually do that. Start learning high value skills. You might not always be right about your contrarian point of view, but you can start by solving problems that people are ready to pay for. That's how you start climbing. Baby step, ladies and gentlemen, baby steps. So thanks for watching, and I'm rooting for you just as much as I'm rooting for myself. And if at all you found this video useful, smash that like button, subscribe for more content like this. Drop a comment about what you're going through, what your journey is looking like, and I'm happy to read, and I read every one of them. So it'll be super exciting to kind of connect with you one-on-one, to understand more about what you're doing to get ahead of 99% of the people. Until next time,